My name is Bektour. I'm 22 years old and I'm from Kyrgyzstan. I'm heading the Cloth KG project, which is the internet web portal for the youth mostly, which has a blogs platform and the news section where the news are written by young people only. Okay, so you hear me well, yes? Okay, that's good. I've been using the internet since 1998, which is quite long for our country because the first provider appeared in Kyrgyzstan probably in 1995. So the internet was quite a new thing for Kyrgyzstan when I started using it. Maybe I was happy that my parents actually understood all these preferences of internet, so that's why they connected it to our apartment. And I started using it. It seems to be like 13 years old. I was 13 years old when I started using it. So soon it will be half of my life of using the internet actually, because when I'll be 26 years old it will be half actually. I remember when I was, yes, I think about 14 years old, I took part in the chat conference for the first time. And it was really amazing to see people from so many different countries actually talking to each other. Because before that I could have never imagined that I can actually simultaneously talk to people from, for example, Italy and the United States, and for example from an African country. So it was really amazing that actually the world has become a bit smaller after using the internet. Well, right now I'm working actually in the internet because I'm heading the online project. So actually internet it just occupies maybe most of my life, because I come to my office in the morning, so I turn on the internet and I start editing the news that young reporters write for me, and I place this into the internet, and I read blogs every day and I write blog reviews. So actually I'm doing quite a lot of things in the internet. And then even after coming back home, I turn on the computer again and I connect to the internet and I start doing some personal things in the internet, mostly writing letters and mostly communicating with people. So right now I think maybe except for sleeping, all the other time is dedicated mostly to the internet. The old way of distributing information was really one-sided, because those were mostly journalists working in the newspapers or, I don't know, TV, who were distributing information to their readers or viewers. And actually there were no guarantees that they were absolutely correct or objective. And right now we can get information from mostly any person from the world, and it really makes it much easier to know about every other corner of the world. I think for me, it was when I was opening my project. It was really the biggest encounter, because actually it continues still, because I need to gain the popularity in the internet, which is really becomes harder and harder from year to year, because more and more people have their websites, have their blogs, and it's really hard to get yourself known in the internet, because you have so many rivals, really. I mean, I remember when I started using the internet in 1998, in my school there were only 2 people who had an email address, including me. And the internet was really small, and it was really easy to become famous in the internet. At the moment it is much harder, because actually even in Kyrgyzstan, a country which is not so maybe where internet maybe is not as popular as in Europe, for example, still there are a lot of internet users at the moment, and even in the frameworks of Kyrgyzstan it's really hard to become famous in the internet. And I'm not saying about the whole world, so this is probably the biggest encounter right now. You know what is really good in this country probably is that when the internet started it was mostly discovered by private companies who were not controlled by the government. So there were 2 big internet providers in the beginning, Elkat and Azinfo, and none of them had any control from the government. In the neighboring countries it is much worse. I mean, like for example, especially Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan, they do have really this problem that they have only one provider in each country, and this provider is owned by state. For example, like Turkmen Telecom in Turkmenistan, and actually it controls the internet. They ban some websites, and they control what kind of websites their users are visiting. In our country, it's not like that. At the moment, I can list some 4 or 5 big providers and maybe a dozen of smaller providers of internet, and every one of them is a private company. And also, we don't have any law regarding the internet yet, which in some cases is not really good, but in most cases I think it's really good, because there are no tools for the government to control the internet. At the moment, our government tries to invent some new laws, tries to write them, but they are really, these laws are in the embryo stages. They are not really so much developed yet. And probably it will be really hard for them, because it's too late to start controlling the internet. Only if they do something radical, but I don't really believe that they will do.